Therefore, now that JX Pharmaceutical wants to expand the production capacity of JX Wyzen, the only thing it can do is to quickly expand the production line besides making these employees work overtime as much as possible. But as Jiro said, if you want to expand the production line, you must invest a lot of manpower, material resources, financial resources and time, but the most important thing is time. There is an old saying in Europe that Rome was not built in a day. JX Pharmaceutical wants to expand its production line, and it will not be realized in a short time. Next, if JX Wyzen becomes popular globally, JX Pharmaceutical will not have enough production capacity to meet the rapidly rising demand in the global market. Thinking of this, Liang couldn't help but hesitate. Therefore, he said to Jiro, "Mr. Kobayashi, this is not something I can do. I am just a person in charge of JX Pharmaceutical. Whether we can cooperate with you depends on what our boss means." Seeing that Liang's tone was a little loose, Jiro knew that there was still a ray of hope in this matter, so he smiled and said, "In that case, please I ask Mr. Liang to call your boss and see him. Does the boss have any intention to cooperate? If he has the intention to cooperate, we can meet and chat and settle this matter as soon as possible. Once we reach cooperation, I will immediately transfer all the production lines of Kobayashi Pharmaceutical to JX Wyzen. It is the future JXK Wyzen." "Okay." Liang nodded, took out his mobile phone, walked out of the reception room, and came to a quiet room with no one, to call Charlie. At this time, Charlie, while watching Ao Shui on the podium and receiving the gold medal for the championship, was embarrassed in his heart for Nanako's departure. At this moment, he received a call from Liang. Pressing the answer button, Charlie asked him, "Liang, are you looking for something to do with me?" Liang hurriedly said, "Master, this is the case. A Japanese came to JX Pharmaceutical to find an opportunity for cooperation. In fact, he is still half an acquaintance of you." Charlie was taken aback for a moment, and even asked him with a smile, "This half acquaintance you are talking about should be Jiro?" "Yes, it's him." Liang hurriedly introduced Jiro's cooperation intention to Charlie. After speaking, he hurriedly added, "Master, I think our current production capacity is indeed a very big shackle. If JX Pharmaceutical wants to take off, it must increase the production capacity several times or even dozens of times. Kobayashi Pharmaceutical's cooperation is a solution. As for the ratio, if you think it's not appropriate, I can talk to him again." When Charlie heard this, he couldn't help but laughed and said, "The character of the Kobayashi family is extremely unreliable. Not only is there a precedent for stealing my magic drug, but there is also a case where Jiro paid for the life of his brother. Their family cooperation will definitely be calculated by them." Charlie said, "Also, the Kobayashi family is a foreign family after all. If we cooperate with them, we must share our formula with them. Once they plagiarize our formula, it is very possible that we will do things like crossing rivers, demolishing bridges, or even unloading, grinding and killing donkeys, so we must not cooperate with them." When Liang heard this, he immediately said, "Master, this matter is under consideration. Please don't worry, I will reject this Jiro now." Charlie smiled and said, "Based on what I know about the Kobayashi family, they can't give up this thing so easily. Maybe there will be other sorrows. You have to be careful these 2 days. I will tell Isaac and Mr. Orville. Over there, they will help you pay more attention." Liang said hurriedly, "Okay, Master, I will find out." After that, Liang asked, "By the way, Master, our JX Wyzen market has responded very well. Do you think we can expand the production line as soon as possible? If you have the intention, I will quickly apply for industrial land with the relevant departments." Charlie smiled and said, "Building your own production line is too slow, right? There are several ready-made large production lines in front of you." Liang asked in surprise, "Master, are you talking about Kobayashi Pharmaceutical?" "Yes," Charlie said with a smile. "Jiro's brother, Ichiro, is still in my hands. This time I will leave Jiro behind and let Ichiro go back to inherit the Kobayashi group, but if he wants to go back, he must transfer 80% of Kobayashi Pharmaceutical's shares to my name. Otherwise, he will continue to hide his name and shovel dog shit at Orville's kennel." Liang suddenly realized, and exclaimed, "Master, it turns out that you plan to do that. This is really a genius. No wonder you want to keep that Ichiro, it turned out to be of such great use." Charlie smiled and said, "If I let Ichiro go back, I will keep Jiro as a hostage. If this Ichiro doesn't cooperate well and not obedient, then I will put Jiro back in and get him back to raise a dog. In short, whoever listens to me the most, the two brothers can go back to Japan to enjoy the blessings. The one who is not obedient, stays in Orus Hill and raises a dog honestly." "Master, I understand. I'll go and reject Jiro." Respectfully hung up Charlie's phone, and Liang returned to the reception room. Seeing him coming back, Jiro stood up expectantly, smiled and asked, "Mr. Liang, what did your boss say? He must be very interested in my proposal, right?" Liang shook his head. "I'm sorry, Mr. Kobayashi, our boss is not interested in your cooperation, so I'm sorry, our company can't cooperate with your company."